Discord. Alright. How do I get this link? Why does it say I'm offline? Yeah, there we go. Spelling. See, I should really get better at spelling. Like, interested is a word I should know how to spell by the tick. Apparently I don't. Alrighty, so, I'm going to give it a minute for people who want to stop by to, basically get on the stream. And then I'm going to kind of dive in to where I'm going with. It's been a fun season so far. Oh, dude, they gotta come up with more PowerPoint backgrounds. I'm not creative enough to actually like make my own or do any like the art stuff. Like I just use one of the samples, so I picked the dark basic background for this one. But like, I don't know, I gotta be a bit more creative in the future. We'll work on that. Maybe I can get like a Pokemon one, a little Pokeball in the center. Just find one off Google Images. Yeah. Actually, while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna play some randoms. Or not randoms, but just some OU games. But no, I'm excited for this. You know, I spent way too much time since I've gotten out of school working on these. So I'll be interested to hear people's opinions. Oh fuck! Of course I get a stall game. It's okay. That's what hyper offense is for. I'm guessing Quag. Fuck it. Coco beats all the others. Oh, he's gonna put Taunt, isn't he? Alright, alright. I'm trying to think of how I beat this team, because Quagsire is a problem. I don't actually know if I can really break that. I guess I clicked on here. Yeah, he can change. Okay, kind of lame. But like, whatever. Yeah, you can't really score me, so tell me. I kind of want to just hard call them going into one of these Pokemon. But I'm recording. Like this Focus Blast is gonna hurt Blissey like a motherfucker. Boom. Gone. Oh yeah, I forgot that Pokemon existed. Like, he knows what I'm going into Bisharp to do. Whose item am I getting next? Or you just give me Corviknight, we take those. Yeah, Sear Scarf knockoff. Was mine adamant? Yeah, the Coco's just faster. I get that Reflect off. And then how do I want to play this? I guess I go into this and click SD, right? And Quagfire's just gonna come in. Or this will come, something will come in and just eat the hits, yeah. Yeah. Why is he protecting me? Hayes, I feel like this is weird on this Pokemon. Like, I get why they're burnt, but I mean, I guess it works because it lets you beat Mag. Calm Mind. I'm literally just gonna Calm Mind it for the Earthquake. Oh, they don't even have a ground move. That's very annoying. I don't think you have much to hit this. I don't think it matters though. Oh, cause Ditto. Oh, you're a Stone Edge. I forgot I ran that on my. Oh fuck, that's GG. Of course I got a face stall in the opening thing. Alright, I guess I'll just get started, cause yeah. I'll put it in the office there. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna start off with this by just kind of going into how I was, doing in the review thing. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. I'm mostly just here to kind of give my opinion. So, first thing I wanted to look at was just kind of how people are battling. Battle skill was the first one. It's kind of the most important thing in Draft League. You can be as bad at team building and preparation and all that stuff as you can be, but if you make the right play every single time, you can still win a game. So that's the most important thing, and obviously that's pretty much shown through the record, right? Like, obviously there'll be some games that'll get really unlucky, but for the most part, it's like, that's your record that's going to really determine your battling skill. And so then, yeah, next you kind of get your tiers. This is kind of, or not tiers, let's go, your team composition. So, for your team comp, that's like, basically just how well you've drafted your team, right? Some teams have issues, such as mine, which we'll get onto a later date, which is just not having a reliable hazard remover. It can be an overbearing weakness to one type. Basically, just a bunch of stuff like that that can be pretty annoying when it comes to, like, prepping. Because, again, battle skill at the end of the day is the most important factor, but team comp is definitely next over what we're going to get to next, which is preparation, just because without team comp, you can't really prep for something if you don't have a team for it. And the last is prep, which is really just patching holes. Obviously, you can come up with a cool set every once in a while, and that can be really cool and important and change the tide of the battle. But if your team sucks, you can't really build a perfect team to fix everything else. So yeah, next we're going to kind of look at how I ordered everything. There were kind of 4 tiers. There was tier 1, which is basically the teams that you dread going up against each week. It's entirely based off, like, not only do these people know how to battle, their teams are also built, like, to the point where there are not really many switch-ins. You're going to have to come up with cool prep and be ready to go every time you play these guys. You have your tier 2 teams, which are very similar. I think the big gap between the tier 1 and tier 2s was me, was just really how hard the teams really hit. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the tier 1 teams, I noticed, were significantly more offensive and had a little more, I guess, that pressure going, whereas the tier 2 teams kind of had like a niche, and you could specifically like point, okay, that's a, for example, rain team, or that's a sand team, or that's a bat team, like what's it called, J-Pools, Lottie, whatever, we'll get into that later. But all of those teams kind of had, I guess, a central idea around them, whereas those tier 1 teams generally could fill in a multitude of roles while also still being able to hit hard in all of those roles. Tier 3 teams, these are some of the teams I'm most interested to see how the season progresses because I think a couple of these have a genuine shot at just winning it. The teams there, and whether it be they got a couple unlucky weeks early on, or it was really just comes down to they need that 1 or 2 transactions to take that team to the next level, I think these teams are going to be scary. And then you get your tier 4 teams. These are the kind of teams that either have glaring team issues, just team comp in general, to the point where no amount of prep or battling can make up for it, or they're just catching themselves doing things, stupid mistakes that they know they can fix. And so that's kind of the tier four is mostly just one or two things that are just unsurmountable. So let's kind of dig right into it. And I think the first team, and here's our tier four teams. So it's like we have Boston Bruins, the Sao Paulo Ferrothorns, and the Hannibal Hoosiers. And we'll kind of just dig right in. So the first team I'm going to have in tier four, we're going to look over, is the Sao Paulo Ferrothorns. So this team actually just made a transaction, but we'll get into that a little later. And this is kind of their team going in. The big thing that I had with this team that I wanted to point out was there's not really a breaker here. Or not a breaker, a sweeper. It's just breakers, right? You have Porygon Z, which is hitting like a truck. You have Victini, which has virtually no switch-ins. But that only works when you have something that at the end of the day can come in and just clean up your team. And then when it comes to prep, one thing that VJ's kind of been missing is Rotom Wash. I feel like that's a really good Pokemon, and I know at least this week when we battled, Rotom Wash was something I was prepping for, and it didn't really come. And then I know in the week 3 battle which we'll watch with, there was no Rotom Wash versus the team with not only Excadrill and Dracovish, but Mega Pidgeot, and it was his only flying resist. And so not bringing that there really hurt their chances of winning the battle. But one thing I really do like about this team is the Fire Water Grass core. Victini is one of my favorite Pokemon in draft, and so when you can build a solid Fire Water Grass core with Mega Venusaur and Rotom Wash, if you can bring that core, it's going to do well week after week after week. So the major transaction they need was actually getting rid of Scar and Rabombi, and I talked a lot with V2 about this transaction, because after our week battle, he was not super hot on this team, and I think the big thing that we kind of went over with this transaction is getting that sweeper. Getting that last piece so at the end of the game you'd have somebody to come clean. And what we ended up deciding on was Scissor and Noivern. Noivern, I think, was giving him that dragon that needed to complete that Fairy Dragon Steel Core, because going into it, we can go back and look at the previous slide, he didn't really have a dragon. Like that, which obviously doesn't seem like a huge deal. It's not like a fairy type where you're missing out on that dragon immunity. It's more of a, it resists fire, it resists grass, it resists water, it resists electric. Obviously, Noivern doesn't. But the reason it's a core is because it's resisting those elemental typings that steel and fairy don't resist. Not to mention, dragon types generally have a pretty cool offensive presence, and then Draco Meteor and Outrage are ridiculously hard-hitting stat moves that only have 2 really types that resist it. And so Noivern was a good pickup because it filled that speed tier hole and gave some more removal and that ground immunity that you give up when you drop Skarn. And then Scissor is that late-game sweeper that you really needed. Bullet Punch, SC, Life Orb has been really good for me. I know in BFL, it's literally one of the top 3 kill leader mons. It's a really, really good Pokemon, and the original Voltorn core, which is Rotom Wash and Scissor, that it combines to make on that team, is an awesome addition to the game, I think. The one thing I do wish could be changed is when you lose Skarm as a rocker, especially in a team.
Thing I would say you should probably to add is maybe get a low tier, maybe swap out, let's see, uh, like a Miss Magius or Hitmontop, one of those for that low tier. Ooh, my headset just fell out. Hold on, let me fix that. Alrighty, testing. Let me. Okay, I think that's maybe back to normal. I don't know. Okay, can y'all tell me if that's back to normal? All right, sweet. So, oh, I had to mute my computer. That's what it is. I can hear myself back. Is this okay? All right, I'll just go with it. So, okay, yeah, and so that's the big thing he was missing, a rocker. And so that's kind of why I gave this kind of transaction a B plus instead of an A, because at the end of the day, we'll have Crook having to be a defensive mon the rest of the season, unless you make that transaction. It's kind of a bummer because it is a really good Scarfer. But up until now, it's kind of been forced into that Scarfer position because otherwise you didn't really have anything to clean in game, which you now kind of have in Noivern and Scissor. And so yeah, next we're gonna look at a battle. Here are all the replays, and again, I'll post this slideshow after I finish the presentation about the rankings. And so you can click on all these links, and it'll take you straight to the battle to watch them. But I kind of want to look at the week 3 because that's the one where I feel like the prep, I guess, showed, and you'd kind of see like, for example, here, there's no Rotom Wash. And so turn one, when you're going up against Mega Pidgeot, you have to remember nothing misses. So if you want to run Zap Cannon on a Slowbro, if you want to run whatever you want, this is the bond to run it against. And here, that moves Stone Edge. Crook gets it. It's going to kill Pidgeot in one hit if you click it. And so if there's a matchup to bring Stone Edge, this is the one. So here, turn one, Crooks leads, and it's Scarf Rock Slide. That if you're Stone Edge right there, you've killed Pidgeot, and your biggest threat to your Scarm is gone. At this point, if you kill Pidgeot here, Scarm is going to run havoc through this team. And so that's really what, at the end of the day, I'm going to be a bit worried about, is now with Pidgeot being able to switch out, Roost up back on Scarm, it's like Scarm can no longer do the thing where it constantly checks X-Trill. It's dealing with Orbeetle with Brave Bird, same with Venomoth. It's like, okay, yeah, that's... Okay, it's playing through my computer, which is the issue. Uh, testing. Oh, maybe it's working. No. Let me just, I can't end the stream. That might fix it, though. This is odd.